Today we're going to be taking a look at 75377 Invisible Hand. This set will be releasing on March 1st with 557 pieces and a retail price of $50 and it's part of LEGO's new quote-unquote Starship collection, but it's really just mini-scale, and honestly mini-scale is just a better term to use anyways. And as most of you guys know, this set is part of celebrating LEGO Star Wars' 25th anniversary, hence the 25th anniversary logo at the top of the box. And speaking of the box, one thing I gotta say is that this new 25th anniversary box art is absolutely beautiful. I love how they're finally mixing up the box art on these 18 plus sets, adding this nice sort of metallic blue along the bottom and not just keeping them all black. I think it makes them stand out and it looks really appealing. And now digging into the box, on the inside you're going to find 5 numbered bags and your instruction manual. And taking a look at the instruction manual, on the inside you're going to find some really cool information about the ship and some really awesome graphics from Revenge of the Sith. And you can pause and check it out if you want. It is a pretty enjoyable read. And then right before the building process, you're going to see this really nice graphic of the LEGO Star Wars 25th anniversary logo, and then from there you can start building your set. And also at some points throughout the build, there are these paragraphs at the bottom of the pages that sort of point out Easter eggs in the ship, and this one here is actually pointing out that there is supposed to be an MTT and Anakin and Obi-Wan's Jedi Interceptors in the hangar, and this was really pleasing for me to see because I'm gonna be honest, I did not know this set was even going to include a hangar when it first got revealed. I thought it was just going to be a completely solid ship with just some transparent pieces on the side to represent a hangar, but no, there's actually a whole interior, and that was really pleasing to see. Now moving on to the actual model itself, it looks really good, but it's not perfect. And the first thing I gotta point out is that the middle section, to me at least, is very overly detailed. I never thought that I'd find myself complaining that a LEGO Star Wars set is quote-unquote too detailed, but here I am. There's just so much going on in the middle section that the model is almost like visually suffering because there's so many different colored pieces here. But more on that in a little bit. The first thing I actually want to go in depth on is the stand, which looks really good. I mean, as you'd expect with an 18 plus set, the stand is very sleek, and as you can see here, it does come with a little printed Invisible Hand plaque as well as a printed 25th anniversary brick. And if you want, you can actually take the 25th anniversary brick and sit it on the stand, and take the grill piece that was on the studs and sit it on the plaque, but I personally think it looks better with the 25th anniversary brick sitting next to it and not on the stand. And if you're wondering what the backside looks like, it's just the bottom side of the plates, nothing too crazy. And as you'd expect, the model is very easy to take on and off the stand and move around however you'd want. Taking a look at the front of the ship here, it does look pretty good. I think they did a pretty decent job at getting the curvature right. I wish they would have found a way to make the very front tip a little bit longer and kind of come to more of a point, but the nose of the Invisible Hand does have a pretty crazy shape, and I think LEGO did a pretty good job at replicating it in the best of their abilities. And up at the top here, you can see that little green transparent piece, and that is actually supposed to be the command bridge that Anakin and Obi-Wan fought General Grievous inside of. And yes, if you're wondering, it's just a transparent tile that is being held on by that little clip. And now moving on to the middle section, the part that I said was overly detailed. On each side, you are going to find 2 stickers, one being a separatist symbol and then a sort of like a caution symbol with black and yellow bars. And then you're just going to have all of these different colored pieces that are very distracting when you're looking at it up close. From far away, the model looks incredible, like up on a high shelf or something. It's gonna look really good on display, but when you get up close and analyze the details and try to appreciate the details, there's just a lot going on. Yes, the Invisible Hand does have very faint light and dark gray stripes throughout the middle and front section of the ship, and I really applaud LEGO for capturing that. However, there is some other pieces here that just aren't very necessary. Most obviously, those bright sand yellow pieces, I really think those should have just been gray, and maybe a few blue pieces here and there. Again, I like the stripes and I like how LEGO captured it, but just some of this other stuff is just a bit too much. And I applaud LEGO for the effort of detail, but I really think they just sort of overdid it here. On the bright side though, towards the bottom of the middle section, there are these transparent yellow pieces that are supposed to represent lights, and they add some great detail down here at the bottom and definitely give the model a good sense of scale. And those lights will continue up from the bottom towards the back middle around the ground forces command section, and again, they just add some great detail under all of the bricks. And speaking of the back and front halves of the ship, yes, it can split apart into 2 pieces like it does in the movie. It's a very simple design, it's just held in by 4 clips, but it works really well and it's a very fun feature. And then towards the back half of the model, it definitely gets cleaned up a bit from the over detailed middle section. The curvature and shaping back here is really nice, as well as the gray and blue stripes. And then right under that, again, you're going to have that hangar bay, which just looks so awesome with these transparent pieces. The fact that you can actually see inside there and see what's supposed to be an MTT and Anakin and Obi-Wan Jedi interceptors is just really cool, and it just makes it feel more alive and more interactive. The engines on the back also look great. They're very simple, but I think LEGO did a really great job at capturing them at such a small scale, not to mention how, again, the shaping back here is just really nice. I think LEGO did a great job. And then on the bottom, there is this piece sticking out that kind of looks like the observation tower, but on the bottom side, and I have no idea what this is. I even whipped out my Star Wars Revenge of the Sith cross-section book and then flipped to this giant section about the invisible hand, and it has all of the information that you could want about this ship, except for what that bottom portion is. It's just not shown. So if any of you guys know what this is supposed to be, let me know in the comments, because I have no idea. And then moving on to the most unique part of this ship, which is the observation deck, which is actually nicknamed the Wizard's Tower if you didn't know. It looks really great. It uses a very small amount of pieces, but LEGO did a good job at designing it, and I'm sure you've seen that in other people's reviews that the observation deck does slightly lean forward, and it does, but it's really not noticeable at all, and definitely not as big of a deal as other people have made it out to be. I mean, if you're farther away than like 10 inches from this thing, you're not going to notice it, so I think it's fine. And then the last thing I want to talk about is what's probably been on your guys' mind the whole time, and that is the scale of this thing. And yes, it is pretty small. Here it is next to a minifigure for comparison. It's pretty small, but I definitely don't think it's too small for $50. I think for $50, it's a perfect size. And here it is compared to the midi-scale Executor that came out last year, which is a $70 set, so obviously it's going to be significantly bigger. And again, I think the invisible hand is a perfect size for $50. However, I wish LEGO would have just gone ahead and made it $70 and made it a bit bigger, because if they would have done that, the middle section that is overly detailed, in my opinion, would have been able to have been fleshed out more, and the details wouldn't be so overwhelming and distracting. But I mean, other than that, I have no complaints at all about this model. I think it looks absolutely incredible, especially from far away. It's just a great display piece. It really is just that middle section, which is just ever so slightly too detailed. And like I just said, I think if this set was maybe $70, it could have been a bit bigger and the amount of details wouldn't be so distracting. And if they really wanted to keep it at $50, I think they could have left out some pieces like those yellow ones and maybe some of the blue ones towards the front as well. So because of that, I'm going to give this set a 9.5 out of 10. Every single part of this set is absolutely incredible, from the observation deck to the engines to the shaping. It's just that middle section which really throws me off. Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below, and if you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can see them on the end screen right now.